This is Ron with ArtMoose TV, and we're here today with Loretta Alvarado. And it's really an interesting show today because of the fact that we see a lot of 2D, 3D art, and we're going to see fabric art today, which is very, very, if you haven't seen it, you've got to go out and see it because it's just amazing stuff to look at. How'd you get started with this?
Well, actually, a friend of mine asked me to make him a stuffed moose head. And it turned out so good that he said, you should make these and sell them. And so that's what started my whole art career. It actually started with craft shows, and then I transitioned into art shows.
You're in a lot of major art shows in Southern California.
Yes, I am.
And you have a kind of a theme you work with a lot, music.
Yes.
Is that because you had to do the piano?
Went through music lessons as a kid. I actually started with the guitar, which I really didn't like that much, and then I had to do the obligatory piano lessons. But eventually I found the violin, and that became my instrument of choice.
Well, let's look at some of this art today. Here's the first piece.
This is a treble clef, so it's certainly a musical symbol, and this is one of my collage pieces, but it's also one of my handmade fabric pieces because the red is actually a piece of handmade fabric that I actually create on my sewing machine.
So you make a lot of your own fabric to make your own art with.
I make a lot of my own fabric, yes.
So let's take a look at another one.
This one is called In the Pits. It's the view from the orchestra pit. So the whole story behind this is that you're sitting in the orchestra pit looking at your music, and then at the bottom is the music that's fallen to the floor during the performance, and then the piano is typically off to the left of the orchestra, and then up above on the left is the curtain and the footlights to the stage, then the middle is the rest of the orchestra, and then the upper right is the music flowing out to the audience. This is one of my collage pieces. I do a lot of these types of pieces. How big is this? This piece is a 16 by 20, and it's basically just fabrics that I've collaged together like you would collage together paper, only I happen to like to use fabrics.
And so where do you find this fabric at?
Oh, in my living room. I actually have a fabric store in my living room.
This piece here is a little different.
This one's different. This is actually one of my first sculptural pieces, and it is a half-size grand piano. No, it does not play.
You have to see this thing. It's three-dimensional. It's beautiful to look at.
Thank you. This is called Patchwork Blues, and it is not a guitar that I covered. I actually created the entire piece and sculpted it, put real guitar strings on it, and yes, it does play.
You can tune it and everything?
You can tune it and everything. It just sounds really bad because it's made out of fabric, but it does work. And then this next one, this one is called the Red Violin, and this is another one that actually has real violin strings on it, and it does play as well.
Does it come with the bow?
It does not come with the bow. This one's actually in a nice shadow box to keep it protected.
This is one of your new pieces.
This is my brand new piece from this year, and I called it Chromatic Scale, and it is a xylophone that does play.
Really?
Yes.
Does a lot of people bang on it when they come to your house?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This one I called Heartstrings. So I found some old violin bows, and then I made my handmade fabric, and then I strung cord to make it look like strings, and then put the violin bows on top.
And this is actually three-dimensional?
This is a three-dimensional piece, yes. And then this is one of my all-time favorites. It's called With a Song in My Heart, and it's another one of my collage pieces.
And then you got into big sculpting.
Yeah, big sculpting, yes. Although this is one of the smaller of my big sculptures. So this is all handmade fabric, and it's very labor intensive. It takes me quite a bit of time just to make each one of those petals. They have to be made individually on the sewing machine, and it takes me probably about 3 to 4 hours to just stitch each one of those petals.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for sharing. And if you people have not seen this, you have to go on our website. You have to get out there and look for this stuff. It'll blow you away. It's just amazing. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.